Oh shit.
Guys, we're back on the pod. We got a new record. 4 people joined by the lovely co-hosts, Mr. Aiden, Mr. Dylan, Mr. Jake. How are you guys doing?
What up,
I feel
boys?
like they haven't
Doing
earned
well.
the title yet.
How are we?
I'm gonna be honest. No title
What'd you
earned.
say, Flood?
You gotta earn this title. You can't just be a co-host on day one. Clark lost it, by the way. Let's just throw that out there. He's a esteemed guest still, and you're just guest. You gotta work your way up still.
All right, I'll do my best.
I
Your
was
analysis is good.
streaking for a little bit.
I'll do. Yeah, no, I'm gonna start streaking. Our practices have just now officially been like only 4 to 6. In the middle of basketball season, we go sometimes 6 to 8. So normally that's why I cannot join. But now that we're only 4 to 6 for the rest of the year, I think appearances will be made more often.
For those of you that don't know, this is a special guest here. This is a D3 Volleyball All-American we have on our hands here. This is a collegiate athlete, all right?
You guys are my roommate, Keegan.
We gotta make sure, we have the best analysis. I watched the podcast that had Armando Baycott. Now we got Dylan Mulvaney, and not the one you think. So
I hate Armando Bay. I hate all of the old bigs. All of them can die.
Bro, you just hate him because he's a
Losers.
fifth year, bro. He is a loser.
It's like Zach Eady, bro. I want
Bro,
Zach
go to
Eady to lose.
Go to the
immediately.
NBA.
Like,
Go to the NBA, bro.
You guys know Zach Eady's going in the second round of mocks? Like,
probably. I mean,
people actually have him getting
take a
picked.
chance.
He might be he might be the Wemby stopper. Who knows?
It's like Luka Garza. He got picked.
Yeah, it's like Luka
years ago.
Garza. They're so dominant in college.
Is the guy from
You
Kansas
have to
gonna get
know
drafted?
him. I don't know. If I was in NBA GM, I don't think
Is
I
he
would
even
give a guy
alive?
like that a chance. Like,
Who?
you guys see what Luka
He's
Garza
talking
is
about Dickinson.
like, doing nothing. Literally nothing right
Yeah,
now.
I mean he's a bench warmer.
So, I mean, maybe, I don't know. The second round is a little bit more of a...
Is Hunter
a
Dickinson
fountain
out?
No, or at least Self said that he's going to play.
I think he's
That
supposed
might have
to
just
play.
that might have just been tournament buffing a little bit to try and get the
Yeah.
ninth seed, but
What about the Kansas Stars?
that's Dickinson. And then
What's McCullers up to?
McCullers, they're both supposed to play. So
They are?
See, this is,
Hold
you know,
on.
this
Let
is-
me look at ESPN. I don't believe. Hold on.
This is the time of month where everybody immediately turns into Lenardi after watching no college basketball for the entire year, and that's going to be the 4 of us as well, myself included. So
Whoa.
we'll see
I've
what
watched
we
a
can
ton
do.
of Gators games.
Yes,
Excuse me.
outside of your favorite team, how many college basketball games have you watched this year?
Not too many.
Yeah,
I watched
Same
DJ.
with
I
me.
watched DJ Burns.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Technically,
He's my
you're
favorite
right.
player. He's my favorite player.
Bro, you're
Yo,
right.
if you're an NBA GM, are you taking him or are you taking Zach Eady? I'm taking
I'm
DJ, bro.
taking
I don't
DJ
know.
Burns. Bro,
I have
the
yet
D-
to see DJ. I have yet to see DJ Burns miss a shot.
The DJ Burns
Even when he's
mid-range
fouled.
is crisp. Show me a pro style move that Edie has that matches the DJ Burns midi or his pass out of a double. You can't. You just can't.
Bro,
Or that
He-
lefty baby hook, dude. That thing is gnarly.
It is.
He was getting it off over Baycott, so he'd get off
You guys
over
know-
anybody.
Do you guys know Hunter Dickinson's from Alexandria? That's crazy.
Virginia?
Really? What high school did you go to? Or did
I
he
have
play
no-
out? Did he play at like
I have-
Dime G or something?
Some
No
academy.
idea. It just says his birthplace is Alexandria. Me and
Look
him were
up.
born in.
Were you born in the Alexandria Hospital, Jake?
I think so.
I was born in Reston Hospital.
I definitely was not born in that one.
Well, where were you? DC?
Fairfax, I think.
Flood?
I
Knows.
Y'all just out here doxing yourself. That's what I don't know about all that.
Oh, we played at DeMatha. Oh shit.
Oh.
During the ACC championship they showed the DeMatha High School like once every like 30 minutes, I swear, on screen.
Well, because it's a pipeline,
I
bro.
loved it. Well, yeah,
Those
So-
motherfuckers are good.
amazing.
And what's the other one I'm thinking of? PVI. Didn't Doug
PVI,
McDaniel just entered the transfer portal out of PVI?
They have a few Duke commits I know coming up.
Oh, the Hazard. The Hazard.
And Jeremy Roach is PVI.
No, not him.
So.
I mean, yes, him, but he's not the Hazard. John knows the Hazard.
Oh, was that the
I
kid
think
who
this
dunked
episode's
on?
gonna go.
Yeah.
No, I know the video you're talking about. He's a hazard.
All right.
If I just type in the Hazard, will he come up?
Anyway, I think the plan's pretty clear today if you know what time of year it is and what we've been going through. But basically, instead of doing our 4 different brackets as some of the other ones, we're just going to go with the 4 combined. I think this works better because guys like myself, diving into some numbers, but not all of them. And I think it's better to combine our brain power and see where we differ a little bit with this one.
Yeah.
You guys have brain power still? No.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys are using numbers to pick your games?
Let me
No.
see if I can share this. We can get creative.
Actually, it reminds me. I gotta get my notes real quick.
All right. Do you guys see this? Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
All right. How do you guys go straight down, or do you go across?
You
How
go
do you guys
round by
like-
round. If you do one region by one region, you have issues.
Okay, we'll do round by round then. That works for me. And we'll just go.
I'll
We'll
let-
go straight down, and then we'll go in a
You go
circle,
straight down and then you go.
and then we'll go back around.
Well, no. You still have to go back up to the 1 seed.
Bro, some people are like kind of psycho. They pick their champ and then fill out the rest of their bracket. I don't know if you guys do that, but to me, that's
Ew.
it's very premature.
Ew.
I must say, I watched
tournament.
I watched an unnamed person whose name might be Gautier just click UVA all the way to the championship and then fill out the rest of the bracket. But
That's fair. though.
I will say our like usual like League One will have Florida winning everything. Why would I root against them?
So did you guys? Let me ask you something. Did you guys fill out an impulse bracket like soon as it dropped? 'Cause
Yes,
that's what I
always.
oh yeah,
Always.
That's
Yeah.
like
And-
my only bracket thus far, in all honesty. So
I don't know about you guys, but normally my impulse bracket will get like, I'll normally make like in between like 15 and 20, I'd say. My impulse will be like top 5 normally. And then it just makes me think, like, why do I waste the time of making those other like 15 brackets that were just like throwaways?
bro, that's why I'm saying the 8th grade year where I got 32nd has doomed me for the rest of my life because I will spend so much time on the numbers knowing it worked once. And every year it's like, nope, didn't
Exactly.
work this year. But this is going to be the year though. So,
So you got, was that a tie? I don't really.
Yeah, I
Remember.
think it was tied. All I know is I was 32nd in like the NCAA brackets submitted.
Yeah.
So
99.
Yeah, well, I was 30th, so
What do you guys think the highest percentile you've got is?
last year I had UConn, and I had who did UConn play in the Final Four?
Miami.
Final Four.
Yeah.
Miami.
It was Miami,
I
and then
had Miami. I had Miami in the Elite Eight, and then I had two of the Final Four. I had two of the
You
Final
at
Four.
SDSU or
did you
FAU?
pick SDSU?
It was not FA. It was SDSU.
Oh yeah, I forgot about FAU last year, dude.
No,
FAU
I'm
was-
saying-
Bro, 'cause
before
Is it
last
like
year-
a-
Last year, I hated all of the 1 seeds. So I don't
Yeah.
remember who they were or why I hated them, but I didn't like any of them.
Purdue was one,
Purdue.
or was that 2
Purdue.
years ago?
No, it
Yeah,
was
no,
Purdue.
they were one. Well, Kansas had the gauntlet bracket last year where they had UConn.
Yes.
I forget their 2 and 3, but they were both demons. And it's like UConn had that
UCLA
this year.
Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a nuts side of the
And
No,
then
bracket.
they
actually,
got sniped.
I was-
They got sniped before they even got there. They got sniped by
Yeah.
Arkansas in the second.
That was
Yeah.
that was something I
I
was
had
talking
that.
to.
I had that. I was a big
I was
Arkansas
talking
guy.
to Dylan about this before the pod. I think that the 1 seeds this year have an easier path than the 1 seeds last year. Like last year, I remember I picked Arkansas over Kansas. In the second round, I
Yeah.
also had a 9 seed like Auburn played Houston. I thought Auburn could win that game. I picked Memphis over
Did they win
Purdue
that
in the
game?
second
Did
round.
they win that game last year?
Auburn,
I think
no,
they
they
did.
lost. I think it was pretty.
Oh, they lost it.
Houston lost in
Houston
the
was
next round.
Houston was what in the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16 last
They
year?
lost to Miami in the Sweet 16, I think. But yeah, this year I think the 8 and 9s. I don't know if they.
No,
have
I don't
that.
think a single 8 and 9.
I
will
have-
win. I-
Well, because everything that I've been seeing, I mean, I love A&M against Houston, but that's like the only one that, or not love, but that's the only one that is like
pickable.
pickable in my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
Because
A&M's problem is they can lose to anyone, but also beat anyone.
yeah, they could lose first round, or they're gonna end up in the Elite Eight. Which is
Who,
the issue.
Houston?
No, A&M.
A&M.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Yeah, they have
Bro,
a
they
weird
have
dude. So, to give some context, I haven't watched much college basketball this year, so I was kind of just looking at resumes and wins and losses. Dude, A&M has the most wild resume ever, bro. Like, I don't know. Are you guys still on the bracket?
Yeah, we can still see it.
Yeah, like seeing your screen. Yeah.
Okay, because I was just making sure you guys couldn't see my browser. They have some of
What's
the
on your browser,
craziest.
Dylan?
They have some of the craziest wins, bro. No, just Ken Palm.
No, and then they have 3 quad 4 losses or something.
Yeah, they have a
That's why
losing
Yeah.
record in
everyone
quad
was,
3.
It's wild, dude.
everyone was shocked
Yeah.
when they were the 9 because they thought
They
it was
they
an
beat
over
Iowa
17.
State by 4 in the beginning of the year.
Which is like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then they lost to LSU. They beat Kentucky in overtime, and then they lost to Arkansas like 2 days after. I don't know, wild, absolutely wild resume. They beat Florida, who's a respectable team. They beat Tennessee by 16 points. That was unreal. And then they lost to Vandy 2 days later. It's like, I don't know. They've got a funny looking
Yo,
resume.
Vandy got a crazy resume too. Then that means Vandy's beat A&M and Florida. Not many people can say they've done that.
And I forgot to mention. I'm sure you guys saw A&M then beat Kentucky like 3 days ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
Kentucky is the most volatile team in the history of college basketball. I swear
bro,
to God.
Kentucky.
They'll
It's
come
like
out there and kill teams, and then they'll come out there and get killed by teams
Kentucky-
the next day.
Kentucky's gonna murk Oakland, but then they're either gonna murder NC State or Texas Tech, or they're gonna get murked. Like this whole right side. What is it? The South. This whole the South issue.
I think the South is.
No one is gonna pick the South correctly.
The
The
South
South?
might be the toughest to pick this year.
No,
All
I
the
mean,
conference.
It's because of all the
honestly-
teams are freaking boom or bust.
I think it's the
I mean,
Midwest.
Duke. We're saying that, and Duke's gonna come out just winning.
You think it's the Midwest flood? Why
think
do you
it's the
think?
Midwest
Oh, is it because of
because-
Kansas and Gonzaga?
It's because of Purdue.
The Kansas and Gonzaga split, plus Purdue, having that loss last
Who's
year.
at the bottom? Who's South Carolina playing? Who's the 11?
Oregon.
Oregon, which is
I'm slamming
extremely
Oregon.
common. Yeah, extremely common upset pick.
And then Tennessee has Connect, but also Creighton is Creighton's sneaky good with
Creighton's.
Kalkbrenner.
I think Creighton's really good.
It's like I don't really know that. I literally think anything could happen. You could have 12-13. I could see a team like McNeese beating Purdue. In all honesty, and
Yeah.
it's just
Which
and I could see
division?
Oregon. So that region could go Oregon McNeese Elite Eight, like legitimately in my eyes, which is just kind of crazy.
Wild, absolutely wild.
McNeese. All right, Aiden's on drugs. Which division? Like, not the hardest to predict, but like with the best. Which division do you guys think has the best teams?
The
Like,
strongest.
which one's the hardest to get out of? Which one's the East?
The East.
The
Is it-
East
Dude.
has-
I think
Yeah,
Auburn
okay, yeah.
is so good.
yeah. Well, on top of that, the
I
East has
hate that
3 of the
Auburn and
4
UConn
Final
are in
Four
the same thing.
Yeah, like
Ah.
the East has 3 of the 4 Final Four teams from last year, and they have the Big 10 champ, the Big 12 champ.
No, the
and the Big
SDSU
12.
and FAU have earned it.
It will. You know what? The West will be hard to get out of if Alabama is shooting the ball. That'll be tough because they have Arizona and Michigan State. They have Izzo if they beat UNC. I think the West could be sneaky tough, but I think face value, yeah, the East is.
Dude, the
probably-
all top 4 seeds in the East, like, have an argument to win the whole thing, in my opinion.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's how I look at it. The top 4.
Actually, I don't know. Personally, I'm not an Iowa State guy. I'm
Yeah.
really not going to pick them much. The thing with
I'm not
Iowa
gonna
State-
pick them, but they're gonna go far. I'm not gonna pick them too.
the thing, I don't know if this is another thing that really stood out to me. Iowa State doesn't have a player that averages over, I think it was like 13 and a half points per game, which is crazy. To me,
Really?
you need that. To me, you need
mean,
like a closer.
A
And,
bucket
not-
getter.
They're more
yeah,
so.
exactly. A bucket getter, like a Connect, is a perfect example.
I feel like they're more so though. They live off their defense, so like,
Oh,
it's
100%.
a little bit of a different story. But I see what you're saying. Like the formula for a defensive-minded team to win the chip is similar to that of a UVA, where they still have those scorers like Guy
Yeah.
Hunter and Jerome who can go
You just
get it.
you need your
And that's
closer.
just kind of where it differs for me. Because
Yeah,
like in the big moments, you still need those guys to make the plays,
Yeah,
and I'm just
exactly.
not sure that they have it. But
Yo,
I think-
Nick, is what's it called? Is UVA winning their little pregame?
Playing
have-
Colorado State down in that bottom right corner. I think we have a good chance tomorrow. They're a small team, which is good for us. Then Texas. The thing about if anyone has ever watched UVA basketball, it's kind of like watching Iowa State on
It's like
track.
it makes you want to kill yourself.
It really is a race to 50. We beat Wake Forest earlier this year 49-48 with shooting 1 for 11 from the free throw line.
Oh my
Um,
god.
we are just
Oh,
such
that's
a
one
it's
thing
a
that could kill you guys.
yeah, UVA does not know how to shoot a free throw. That is an issue. The thing is though, if your best player is a point guard,
Tuesday.
which is the case for Texas with Max Abmas, it is living hell playing against Reese Beekman.
Yeah.
The issue for UVA is playing another team that has a good defense, because it's like if UVA is playing a good defense, then their offense doesn't know how to score the ball. That's
Yeah.
actually a thing I saw with Iowa State and Houston. The reason I don't have them as my natty pick is like Houston just put up an absolute dud in the Big 12 championship. They scored 40 points.
Yeah.
It's like Iowa State and Houston are so good, but like I feel like in 7 straight games they're bound to put up like one dud and just like not win. They
Absolutely.
can't win. I don't know if they can win 7 in a row like that.
At the end of the day, like this is kind of just a basketball theory thing in my opinion, but it's like great offense will always be like good offense will always be better than good defense. And if, like you said, Houston or Iowa State runs into one team that just happens to be hitting their shots that day, like defense can do a lot, yes, but to a point and to an extent, I think an offense could just take over that game and run away with it, because you get on a 10 or 15 point run against a team like that and they can't really dig themselves out of that hole.
Yeah, and looking at that on the opposite side, it's like it's not even if the offense is hitting it your shots, but if you're not hitting your shots as like a defensive minded team, it's just like so hard to score, like just keep up in a game.
Yeah.
And you're just like defensive minded teams. Watching UVA when your team is playing from behind, it is just so painful because they just love to like slow tempo and play defense, but that's not conducive to winning when you're like losing in a game.
No.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
tough. But
here's your Iowa State stat for you, real quick, before we get into this. Of the 36 teams that were seeded as a 2 and in the AP top 10 after entering the season unranked, which is Iowa State, 0 have reached the Final Four, and 15 of 23 have lost in the first or second round.
Oh wow, that's
Who's this of? What team is this?
Iowa State.
So there's historical data to suggest that they're in a bit of trouble, as there is, and I'll get into this later, with UConn, actually, who is a lot of people's national champion.
Does it have to do with being a back-to-back?
It has to do with being a back-to-back. It has to do with being the number 1 overall seed, and then it's one of their stats, if I can find it here. Yeah.
What is the percentage of number 1 overall seeds that have won a national championship? Just like cold raw.
I mean, it's a little bit of championship hangover, I think. For like championship hangover happens in the NBA and it happens here. Here, if you're talking about defending champ stats, 4 of the past 15 defending champs have reached the Sweet 16. So
holy shit!
Like you think Kansas last year, who was the defending champ, I believe, and lost to Arkansas in the second round.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember what UVA did, but
there's only been.
They lost to Furman.
According to this Yahoo article, there's only been 5 number 1 overall seeds to ever win the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
The last one was Louisville in 2013. I mean, if you think about it, like the number 1 seed, the number 1 overall seed isn't this like mega like end all be all. You know what I mean? Like the number 1 seed could have been anybody for any of the 1 seeds right now, just pending the tournament results. Right.
Also,
if UConn lost their conference tournament and UNC won, for example, UNC would probably be the number 1 overall seed right now. So,
yeah, and then there's also 8 of 19 previous number 1 overall lost in Sweet 16 or earlier. They've been more likely to lose in the first weekend than to be champs, and the last one to do it was 2011, which I believe was Louisville. And then the specific to UConn, which isn't just defending champs, number 1 overall seeds, is the one in regards to conference bids, where it's been 34 years since a champ came from a conference with less than 4 bids, which obviously the Big East has 3 high-seeded teams, but they didn't get St. John's in, they didn't get Xavier, they didn't get Seton Hall, they didn't get Villanova. All those teams fell out. But I mean, that the only thing with that is you do have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, because it is such a special year in the tournament in terms of all the bid stealers like NC State, like Pierce, New Mexico, and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think UConn, the way they run their offense with their motion is so good. It kind of makes me want to pick them anyway. Even with that, like if you want to watch a beautiful offense in motion, you should watch the Denver Nuggets and you should watch the UConn Huskies. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion. Because it's like they run so many things. I watched a video on it a couple weeks ago, but they run so many things constantly to play off their stuff, whether it works, whether it doesn't work, even going into late shot clock, that they've sort of garnered the opinion that they're just that talented that they're able to make those plays given their basketball IQ. When really, if you look at it more closely, it's the coaching of Hurley and it is set up plays for them,
Yeah.
even if they take a while to develop. So
Mhm.
I still really like them, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we should probably get going on this bracket.
All right, let's start it then.
Are we doing this? We're taking a vote.
UConn over Stetson. Yeah,
I
sure.
don't think we need to vote for that.
We could go. We could go.
Oh
vote.
no! I meant like per. I know.
I like
No
vote,
one's
and if it's
predicting
2 and
the
2,
Stetson.
if it's 2 and 2, then we go until we decide.
Yeah, I think for some of them, like if it's 3-1 for like a 5-12 or a 6-11, you can probably just make your case if you're the one. So we
Yeah,
at least get a little bit
absolutely.
of that side, but that's that all sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be
No, I was
honest,
just trying to figure out how we were doing this whole.
I'm not too educated on the Northwestern FAU game, so what do you guys think?
Okay, as the resident Northwestern fan, FAU is probably going to win this game. I mean, obviously they have the talent. They came in as like I think the 9th overall team at the start of the year following their Final Four run. They are relatively efficient. They're 25th in terms of field goal percentage. And I think the big thing in this game is they attack the boards well, and Northwestern does not.
They rebound.
FAU 71st in offensive rebounds and 59th in total rebounds, while Northwestern's 307th in offensive rebounds and 348th in total rebounds. So I really think that's probably where the game is won. But at the same time, you can look at the team numbers and you can look at the players on the floor. And Boo Buie is going to be the best player on the floor. So that's where Northwestern gets their advantage, in my eyes, is if he is able to go off, as we've seen some guys done in the past. So
Everybody good with FAU?
I mean, this game is close for me just because so many people, including myself, think FAU is too high as an 8 seed. A lot of people had them on their bubble, so having like a bubble team make it up to an 8 seed is a bit strange. And watching FAU play UAB, like this team is not like that amazing. Then again, I don't know if Northwestern is either. I guess that's kind of it. The 8-9 matchup's really a toss up, but if the rebounding stats favor FAU, I would be happy to tail an FAU pick.
Yeah.
By the
Sounds
way,
good
I
to me.
just want to tell you I'm totally taking Northwestern in my actual bracket, but I'm going with the logical take here because you got to ride with them. I mean, and it's going to be a one and done for you.
One and done. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think either team. We'll talk about that, I guess, but I don't think either team has the potential to beat UConn. So, all right, moving on to San Diego State UAB. This is a game that I've been seeing a lot of people liking UAB. I don't know if it's that square of a 5-12, but I like San Diego State. I think that their experience in the tournament will help them a lot. And I think they're a properly rated 5 seed. I really don't see too many holes in that team. So I don't know what you guys think, but
Yeah, I mean, this is again, in this case, there's no real rebounding discrepancy, but it is two pretty dominant teams on the glass. So from that standpoint, there's really nothing to look at. Both teams, they're actually okay. They have a lot of similarities. UAB allows a ton of 3-point attempts, but San Diego State allows or shoots the ball poorly. So it's like that matchup doesn't really go against anywhere. And then the thing I'd probably go SDSU, and the reason for this to me is SDSU's defense is just good and UAB's defense is not. And I think that sort of favors into the type of play that SDU wants to run in terms of limiting the abilities of their opponent. And so I think as long as they can keep them off the free throw line, as long as SDSU can keep UAB off the free throw line, I think they should be able to handle this game probably.
Nick?
Yeah. If UAB and I guess I'm gonna sneak into the next game a little bit. If UAB and Yale were swapped, I would probably be hammering Yale in this game. I love Yale, but they kind of got a nasty matchup there. But I mean, I think
Kinda.
the problem if you look at UAB, they like did not play any like they didn't beat anyone very hard, and especially in their conference tourney run, like the championship was against Temple. They didn't play like the FAU's the only like at large team. They didn't play them in the tourney. Um, so I think SDSU is they're just better. I don't think UAB is very good.
Yeah, I'm looking at some Ken Pom stuff right now. Ken Pom. San Diego State is 9th in adjusted defense. UAB is 202nd. So I really don't know how you get over that hump.
Yeah.
San Diego
think-
State.
Yeah.
SDSU freaking hammered. I have zero faith in UAB.
I think the only way to get over that would be to have an astounding offense like a Kentucky or a Bama, but they just
Mhm.
they don't have that, so it makes it a pretty
Yeah.
easy call for me.
All right.
Is anyone not taking Auburn?
Dude, Yale is good.
Speak now or forever
No,
hold
Yale
your
is good,
Like
but
Yale is
after
good.
an in-depth watch of the entire SEC tournament, Auburn just doesn't get tired, bro. They're just gremlins on defense,
They're 4th in adjusted
and they're
defense.
well coached, and they
Yeah.
shoot well. I mean, they don't shoot well, but they shoot a lot, so some of them have to go in.
Yeah, I saw some weird Bruce Pearl stat, which is the only thing. Let me try and find it. I have it somewhere. Which is the only thing that would make me a little bit nervous about them. But to me, it was one of those ESPN type cherry picked stats at the same time, where it was like in his past four.
hasn't seen his dad since his child has been born. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It was like as a top 4 seed, he's like 0 for his last 4 or something like that. But it's
Oh, wow.
specifically top 4, because in 2019 they were the 5 seed and they made the Final Four. So it's like, are we really that worried about the 4 versus 5?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I like Yale. I think the Ivy League in general actually had a pretty good year, where Cornell, Yale, and Princeton were all pretty good teams for the most part. But
Mhm.
I don't really think I'm going to be betting against this Auburn team the way they've been playing.
Yeah. Yeah, Yale, like Nick said, just got a nasty matchup, dude.
Dude,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, I saw a thing that said if 4 seeds or lower that are top 10 in Ken Pom are undefeated in round 1, and this year that applies to Auburn and Duke.
Yeah, they're
Um,
4th. Auburn's 4th.
Like yeah, Auburn's Ken Pom is off the charts for a 4 seed. I mean, yeah, they have like there's like some metrics that like all the past national champions have, and Auburn is like one of like the 7 teams that really fits the metrics to be a national champion. So
Do you, off the top of your head, Nick, do you remember who else fits those metrics?
we've got I think it's Purdue, Houston, UConn, UNC, the 4 1 seeds. Auburn.
I
could
think
do it.
Creighton was on the list.
Creighton cannot because they lost their first game in their conference tournament.
Oh, then was it Marquette?
Marquette
does.
I think it was
Marquette.
Marquette. I think it was
And
Marquette.
then
I think I saw
7th
that
team,
video
I
you're
think,
talking about.
is Arizona. So that was
That
the
makes
7, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is Arizona. Also, let me just correct real quick. That's in the second round for Bruce Pearl. He's 11-0 in the first round of the modern era. So
Okay.
Auburn is 11-0 in the first.
Oh,
round.
dude, they're just not.
I just
All right.
Auburn's so good at basketball.
Anybody else riding the first
I
upset
knew
of
it.
the bracket
The
here?
Duquesne.
Duquesne, Duquesne.
What did you just say?
I'm not gonna lie, I like BYU a lot in this game.
Yeah.
But what do you guys have? That is.
To be honest, this isn't like a stats thing for me, but there's just some teams that like coming into the tourney, I like almost have a preconceived notion that's like I'm gonna fade this team like almost no matter what. And for me, BYU is just one of them. Like they were good this year, but there's like nothing special about them. And like those A10 teams, like VCU was always a pain in the ass. Duquesne this year, Duquesne, they are so annoying to play. Like, the game against VCU was so unbelievably ugly in that A10 championship. Like this team is annoying to play against, and I think that could cause like a win here against the BYU team that I can't remember the last time BYU was really in like March Madness, or at least a fact.
No, it's been a long time.
It's been Jimmer.
And after
The only thing that I like from BYU. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jake.
It's they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 7 guys over 10 points per game. Like that, and that's the reason why I like Florida this year. Not to go all the way, but like that's just like a if one guy's having a bad game, you have five other guys that typically don't have bad games. I haven't looked at anything for Deskuke,
Yeah.
but
They are 28th in adjusted defense on KenPom.
BYU
So,
or
Duquesne. BYU is at
is not
48th in
defense.
adjusted defense, but they're also 11th in adjusted offense. And I don't mind it.
I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely roll BYU in this game.
That's what. Yeah.
For me, it's mostly about Duquesne, and the fact that they are just not good. In all honesty, this was the team that got slotted into the 11 because they expected VCU to win. Like realistically, they shouldn't be an 11 seed. In all honesty, it was just kind of throw together.
Bro, they're
madness.
Dylan. They're 86th in
So
yeah, I know.
Jesus.
And
Like-
just to back BYU a little bit, they have an early season win over SDSU.
I think they beat Kansas too. No.
Yeah, they beat Kansas.
Yeah, they did beat
and I'm pretty
Kansas.
sure that was full health Kansas.
They beat Iowa State, and they kept it close with Baylor, and they kept it close with Houston, and they beat Texas. I mean, they have some solid wins.
They got some wins.
Baylor.
Yeah, I'm looking at this too.
Yeah, they kept it close with Iowa State when they were 6th in the country later down the road, and they lost to a really tough Texas Tech team. I mean,
Twice. Yeah,
they lost. I mean, they're tough, dude. Texas Tech is good. So, are we going BYU, Nick? I know you want to.
They're also
back to
That's okay.
It's
They're
3.
32nd
It's
in
3 on
effective
one.
field goal percentage too, by the way. But what I will say to Nick's point is, you talk about BYU not having success, and I don't have the exact stat here, but I'm pretty sure on this is BYU has the most tournament appearances without a Final Four appearance of all time.
really.
That's crazy.
So, there is historical data to suggest they're just not a very good tournament team.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, a first round matchup is not a suggestive indicator of a Final Four appearance. So
Yeah, I think
I like BYU.
I think unfortunately for this region, it's going to be a lot chalky, just because, as I said previously, like of my own opinion, this is the best region in the bracket, and naturally, I think that means that more chalk teams are going to win, because you're not going to see an Auburn and Illinois and Iowa State or
just
UConn
throw a
getting
game
knocked
away.
off.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you, Flood. This might seem boring that we're picking
all the top seeds. Yeah. But it's like, I feel like they got this.
Level.
They got this like correct, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
Like this region is so correct, is the way
this
I'm
is
going
one
to
of
put
those
it.
sides that's just like, even, I mean, in a second we're going to talk about it. Even Washington State is like a good 7, dude. Like, they're solid. So
All these like freaking TikTokers are on Drake. I couldn't tell you why. I've seen that everywhere, bro. But we're skipping a game.
Illinois, Morehead State. Does anybody want to contest for Morehead State? I mean, I like Illinois.
No. Terrence Shannon Jr. is a star. They just won the Big Ten.
Team.
Like, there is not really an argument here. I don't want to say too much and end up clipped when they go out and beat them or something like that. But yeah, I don't really see this one being that much of a contest, if I'm being honest.
The only thing Morehead State's got going for them is their name.
Morehead
That's-
State. Shout
that's
out
about
to
it.
Morehead.
And
I was thinking just
Illinois,
Yeah, I know
outside
what
of
you're talking
Illinois,
I was thinking.
outside of Purdue, they've lost like 4 games this year. A couple of them have been not too shabby. I know they lost to Maryland early in the year, and they lost to Penn State, which is just like terrible. But other than that, they've been really consistent, and they looked good in the tournament. They looked they're one of those teams that you feel like is coming into March Madness with a lot of like steam being built up. Like, they're building momentum. I do feel that way about Illinois.
I mean, yeah, you win the Big Ten. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Jake, what have you been seeing about Drake versus Washington State?
Dude, I don't know what it is, but all these people have been like, oh, when you look at this graph where their dick size is this way and then their, like something stupid shit. Like, Apparently, Washington State is terrible, and they're not supposed to be a 7. And everyone loves Drake, but I don't know why.
So
I don't listen to
interesting.
those videos. I'm just like,
I think I can tell you.
it's like I want to take Drake because we've taken all the single digits so far, and that's probably not going to happen. That's the only reason why I would think to pick
Yeah.
it. And this is March. I mean, it's supposed to be close according to Ken Palm.
Yeah.
I think that's more what their gripe was. It's like, oh, if you're going to pick an upset, Drake's close to Washington State.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But yeah,
I think I can sort of go into a little bit of Drake's
elaborate
positives.
more on than what I was saying.
Drake scores a lot of points, 35th in the nation points per game. They shoot efficiently, 27th in field goal percentage and 34th in 3-point percentage. On top of being the antithesis to UVA and shooting 35th in free throw percentage. Sorry, Nick, probably a low jab, but basically teams that shoot well tend to garner a lot of a crowd in terms of March. And when you look at some of those stats, like 4 factors type stats, they don't turn the ball over either. They have the 23rd least amount of turnovers per game. So
that's actually huge.
I think what people are thinking with that one and what I'm thinking with that one is if you restrict the turnovers that you give up and you shoot the rock well, those teams tend to do pretty well in March.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
where they run into an issue potentially is they don't
Their dick
get any
size.
second chance points, and part of that is due to the amount of 3-pointers that they take and the percentage that they take. But I mean, they're 332nd in offensive rebounding, and Washington
Jesus.
is 71st in total rebounding. So again,
Okay.
it could be a mismatch on the offensive glass. Washington State also 24th in total rebounding percentage. But it's a little bit of a clash of styles of play here because Drake likes to shoot a lot of threes, and Washington State is 305th in 3-point attempt rate. So I don't know. I think it's going to be close. I think it's sort of that meeting in the middle of the two styles that you like to see. And honestly, off pure vibes, I kind of like the winner of this game over Iowa State, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Whoa.
Just to piece in a little bit here, Washington State, the argument against them also includes they've lost 2 of their last 3. They lost to Colorado in the Pac-12 tournament, and they lost to Washington just about a week and a half ago, with the win in between that being Stanford. So they're not, like I was talking about how Illinois is kind of coming with steam. They're gaining some momentum. I think Washington State is a little bit of going the other way. I know they beat Arizona, but then they turned around and lost to Arizona State. So
Squeak out against USC. Yeah.
all right, Drake.
That's my
Just
pick.
off vibes. I'm
Drake
50.
and vibes.
I'm 50. I don't care.
I'm cool
I
with
don't
it.
know anything
Bones?
about this game.
To be honest, since there were so many bid steals this year, it kind of makes sense. But I think Drake is too high as a 10 seed. But like as I said, the bid steals have made like the seedings really weird this year with like the playing games at a 10 instead of 11, which I've never seen before. But I do think that Wazoo is not very good. So I'm happy to ride with Drake.
All right, let's do it.
Broncos Nation.
Last
do
game.
Country.
Anyone like South Dakota State here?
No.
Yes, let's pound the table. They're gonna win. And
Even though I just
No.
hinted at them losing in the next
Iowa
round.
State is Iowa State's crazy. I watched that game against Houston.
To me, while Iowa State has a lower ceiling, they have such a high floor. I mean, they have, I think it was like their whole starting 5 might be in double-digit points per game averages, or at least 4 of the 5 or something like that. It's nuts how balanced they are. And like Jake was saying, a team like that is just not going to lose in the first round. Like, it's not going to happen to a low seed.
It's hard. It's hard to
That's
be
not a team
low
that
seed.
can just like fold and kind of give up, you know? They've got culture and experience as well, which always helps. All right, on to the West. Anybody? Mississippi State, Michigan State.
I'll start. I think, myself included, I think a lot of people, when they see Sparty in the 8-9 or the 7-10,
Yep.
they love to hammer Sparty in those spots.
Yep.
I know, especially in past years, whenever Michigan State's a 7, I almost always take them over the 2. And last year it worked. They were 7 seed. They beat 2 seed Marquette in the second round.
Yeah.
This year, though, I think they're a different Michigan State team in a bad way. They had 14 losses, which like I think that might like be one of the most in the entire tournament. I know like they played a pretty tough schedule, but it's tough. Mississippi State, on the other hand, also not a great team, but they did just hammer Tennessee. I think it's a close game, but I think I would go Michigan State just because they do have the middle seed bonus from me.
Yeah.
SEC. That's it. That's all I have to say. That's the only reason why I'm taking him. I have a lot of faith in Izzo. I think he's probably going to smoke him, and then he'll give UNC trouble. But they did just hammer Tennessee, and I have not seen Tennessee. And they gave Auburn fits, too, which I think is being overlooked because Auburn's a very good team. And, like, the fuck did Michigan State do?
Yeah.
Michigan.
I have so much trouble fading Tom Izzo in these spots, dude. I mean,
no, I know.
Historically, he's just come up. I mean, he's come up so often in spots
he hit
like
shot
that.
after shot.
And the level of Michigan State just like rises. It seems like every single March they just get better. And I do think Mississippi State's legit, but I believe in the coaching of Tom Izzo more than the Mississippi State coaching. Therefore, I would like to pick Michigan State. Is anybody saying Mississippi State?
I am, but that's just because of the SEC.
I've heard a lot about how they're pretty good and could give trouble to who's this one? UNC if they get past them. But as Nick said, very hard to bet against Tom Izzo, and you're going to see that for me also with another coach that's being to get upset later. So
I just looked at it. Michigan State's got 4 guys over 10, and Mississippi State has 2 guys at 17 and 15. So if you get them on a day where one of those 2 is off, I find it hard for them to put up a lot of points.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's about like getting on them on a day where they're off, but like Izzo can just a game plan for those types of things, and he can completely.
He can make them off. Yeah,
he can completely take out one of your star players. So I like Michigan State in this spot.
I'm gonna pick Mississippi on my own bracket, but that's just because SEC on top. The logical pick, as Aiden put it, is I don't know what game you were talking about for that. Aiden,
Michigan State.
I think it was the Northwestern game.
Michigan State.
That game. Yeah.
You were like, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna pick Northwestern," but
yeah. You gotta ride with your teams,
All right, so. This is our first really fun one, in my opinion. St. Mary's Grand Canyon. What do you guys think?
TCU. I have no reason behind it.
You riding the antelopes?
Is that what they are?
Yeah.
All right, Grand Canyon's 53.
They have one of the best players in the country, Grand Canyon does, and I think I'll touch more on this in the second round, but I think that the winner of this game has a good chance against the winner of the Bama-Charleston game too. Both these teams are pretty solid on defense. Grand Canyon's one of those like mid-majors that Ken Palm really likes, which speaks well, at least on the advanced metrics side.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they're like 52nd.
They're pretty high for like a 12 seed.
Yeah.
Mid-major that the metrics like, and they have, I forget his name, but they have one of their players is just absolutely amazing. He's one of the best guys on the
He's a guard.
Yeah. I love St. Mary. I love Grand Canyon in this spot. Probably this is one I love taking upsets, but I also don't. I'm not a huge fan of those St. Mary's and Gonzaga. I just think the lack of
the 5 seeds,
strength of schedule.
No, it's just that St. Mary's in the past probably 2 months, the only hard team they've played in the past 2 months is Gonzaga. Like they just don't have this like playing like real teams really.
But I'm gonna be honest, Nick. Grand Canyon's schedule isn't much better. So
yeah, that's true. But
I'm just playing devil's advocate. But
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm changing my pick.
With that said, I do like Grand Canyon in this spot.
I'm going St. Mary.
All right, Jake, Aiden.
Or wait.
I mean,
1, 2. Oh.
First off,
I don't know.
And I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, so let me know your decision when I come back.
Okay. First off, I think the guy
Take your computer with you.
that Nick was referring to is Tyon Grant Foster. He's going to be the best player in most series that he's involved in. 20 point per game scorer is always pretty helpful. I guess 19.8. I really like Aiden Mahoney. Definitely not because of the name or nothing, you know. I just like him. But I think that this will be a very close one. St. Mary's has the second best defense in the country in terms of points per game. They're both pretty efficient. Grand Canyon gets the free throw line at a good clip, at a very high clip, actually. They make the fourth most free throws in the country and shoot them efficiently. They both rebound the basketball well. I think where St. Mary's could have an edge is they turn the ball over the least in the country, or not, not the least in the country, the 48th least in the country. And what Grand Canyon does a decent amount is generate turnovers. So I think whoever wins that battle will likely win this game. I don't know. I really do like St. Mary's. I think if they're not in this game, I'd probably have them going pretty far. And as Nick said, I have them over the winner of Alabama Charleston, regardless of who wins this game. So I'm fine rolling Grand Canyon if y'all want to. That works for me.
Lopes up.
Yep.
All right. Looks like we can probably move on to the Bama Charleston game. For me, these two teams, if you look at like their net ratings and everything, they play a pretty similar brand of basketball. And for me, that always bodes well for like the better team because it's like Bama's just like a better Charleston. Charleston does not have a top 200 defense in the country. So when you're playing like the top 5 offense in Bama, Bama is probably scoring triple digits in this game, like realistically speaking. And Charleston just probably won't be able to keep up. So I'm going to go Bama.
Yeah, this game's going to be 130 to 110.
It's going to be 130 to 20.
Here, Bama doesn't have the defense for that, even against Charleston. I went to one Charleston game this year where
Do they have any athletic players at all?
From that game, they just chucked threes, like straight up. We're just chucking.
So the answer to that question is no. Then Bama is just going to run and jump.
I don't know if that's backed by stats, by the way. That's just what I saw when I went to the game.
No, Flood, I was looking at this earlier. Charleston shoots like a ridiculous amount of threes.
So,
and Bama doesn't?
No, Bama does as well, but Charleston like actually like in sets. Like Alabama like drives to the basket in sets. Like Charleston, I wanted to like research this game extra today. So I watched some Charleston film. Dude, they don't attack the basket out of sets.
No.
They just like pass the ball around the like 3-point line until somebody's open. Like it's the most ridiculous thing ever.
And I'm telling you right now, Bama has the athletes to defend the passes to do that.
No, I don't even know if it's about the athletes. I think I agree with Nick here. It's literally just like Alabama just plays Charleston style, but better.
But Alabama style.
But
yeah, literally they play Charleston style with Alabama athletes. that's what it is.
I'll give you two stats to go off of for this game that kind of say the same thing, but you know how my mind works. They say different things. So the CAA has not won a first-round game since VCU left the conference in 2012. That bodes well for Bama. 4 of the 5 past 12 or 13 seeded CAA teams lost by single digits. So 4 of the past 5 lost, but single digits, that tells me Charleston might be due. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
They are so not due.
The one argument that you could make is simply like if Alabama doesn't shoot the ball well, like if they have an off night, like that's about it. But then that does go both ways at the end of the day because they play such a similar brand. And in my opinion, Alabama is just more primed for this spot. They're a Power 5 school. And
I think Oates is too good of a coach. He's been there for forever.
He is a good coach.
He's a good coach. Florida's just had his number this year. The resume would look so good if we didn't have their number.
I like Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crimson Tide, baby.
We're rolling Tide.
Clemson, New Mexico.
Anyone full fading Clemson in every bracket they make?
No, I'm
Just
actually
me?
doing the opposite.
Okay.
I'm actually doing the
Full,
opposite. I
full,
am
full fade of
big.
New
I
Mexico.
am big on Clemson in this game. I think
Really?
New Mexico's
Wow.
hot. You know, they just won the Mountain West, and to me, this comes down to a couple things. New Mexico gets a lot of shots up, and they rebound the basketball pretty well. But some of the strengths of Clemson are through Hall and Shefflin, and to me, that's where Clemson can win the game is by mitigating that from New Mexico with their two bigs. And I forget his name. I think it's like something Toppin for New Mexico.
JT.
Yeah, that's it. I just don't see how he's going to defend PJ Hall in one of these games. And hey, I mean, you never know. Former Syracuse player Joe Girard could get hot in the tournament, and these 3-point shooters like to do that come tournament time. So I feel pretty strongly about Clemson. But if you guys, that's sort of gut plus stats in what I see. So if you guys want to go the other way, I wouldn't be too mad at it.
The only thing that sticks out to me is, or there's two things. One, New Mexico is 23rd on KenPom as an 11 seed, which is unheard of. And Clemson is 32nd as a 6 seed, which is, a little below average. But New Mexico is the odds-on favorite for this game. They opened up at -1.5, and they've steamed to 2.5. And I know that means people are betting on them, but normally with steam, it comes from actually sharp money, which is the professional sports bettors, which means that they are all over New Mexico in this game. And for those two reasons, I do like New Mexico.
I've said this before we even started. I'm hammering New Mexico in every single bracket I make. For no reason. I have no faith in Clemson. Clemson started so hot.
Backers.
Clemson started so hot, and they're only a 6. No.
This
Nicolas?
game's interesting. I was talking to Dylan about this before the pod. When like everyone is on a dog, it kind of makes me want to fade them in a sense. And right now, like everyone is on New Mexico, and for good reason. Like they just won the Mountain West, and they have looked very strong as of late. And Clemson obviously lost their first game in the ACC.
They lost to Boston College. Oh my God.
Quinton Post is wrong. Don't be out here disrespecting Boston College though. Quinton Post.
I am gonna disrespect Boston College, bro. They had a losing record. Oh no, they didn't.
I think that was in conference is probably what you're looking at.
It was in conference is what I was looking at.
Watching Clemson like play against UVA and stuff, like PJ Hall is very good. So if they can't stop him, he will take over the game. He will win them the game. Clemson has some big boys. This game is really tough for me because it's like I love New Mexico as the dog, but when everyone's on it, I want to take Clemson. It's a really tough spot. I think I'm really 50-50 on this game. Like in all the brackets I make, it's probably 50-50. But since we've got 2 New Mexico and 1 Clemson, I'll let the New Mexico slide, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
If we're gonna pick upsets,
PJ Hall is gonna have 30 and 15 though.
Oh, and also one more thing I think is that in every single an 11 seed wins almost every year. It's like over 90% of the time an 11 seed wins, but then more than that, like over I think in like 13 of the last like 17 years, an 11 seed has made the Sweet 16 even. And I think if you look at the 11 seeds this year, like New Mexico definitely has a chance to do that. Like looking at
whoever's playing Kentucky in the second round. Oh, wait, is Kentucky at 3?
NC State and DJ Burns.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's a different story, but yeah,
DJ
I think New Mexico has a good chance to make an 11 seed run. Is my point.
Nick,
I'm
it's
picking
7 of
3
the
11
last
seeds in my
9
bracket.
had an 11 in
Oh,
the
no,
Sweet
that's fine.
16, and then 5 of
okay.
the last 12 had multiple 11s in the second round.
I think this is a multiple year. Just to
Oh, and then
look on the other side of the bracket real quick.
Bro,
DJ Burns.
I'm picking
Oregon
3
DJ
11s.
Burns.
I'm picking 3 11s. I don't care.
All right, we'll settle with New Mexico and Baylor Colgate. If anybody has any argument for Colgate, speak now.
Didn't they win a couple years ago?
No, that's another time when everyone was on the dog.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 1 or 2 years ago, but it was like
I
Colgate.
think it was 2, and they won.
Yeah,
It was 2 years ago.
maybe
It was 2
when we
years
were in
ago.
high school. Yeah, Colgate lost though.
Colgate
They
lost,
played like
yeah.
they played a really close game in round 1, and
They
everyone
covered.
was on
I
Colgate.
remember they
Yeah,
covered
yeah.
because I was on them plus
They covered, but
whatever
didn't
it
win.
was.
But I think this year no one's picking them, and I think for good reason. 14 threes, I think, just don't happen that much, and also Baylor's a pretty solid team. So
I wonder what the stats on a 14-3 are, just percentage wise.
Oh, fuck. AP, Blake Snell's going to the San Francisco
Oh,
Project.
Yankees.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh.
All right,
Yankees
Flood.
are good.
You like
Sorry.
Colgate or no?
I haven't looked into it enough, but the Baylor Bears are pretty good at basketball, and Scott Drew is
Yeah.
a pretty good head coach.
Which means Colgate's going to win since none of us looked at it.
It'll
All
be
right,
looked at
Dayton,
before
Nevada.
it starts. It'll be looked at before it starts.
Anyone have strong opinions about this game?
I've been hearing
Battle
that
of-
Dane's overrated.
mid.
Dayton did.
I
just
think
lose to
Dayton is so
VCU, 8-10,
fraudy.
I think.
They're so fraudy.
Yeah, I do like Nevada in this game. I'm just seeing if we did pick Drake. Not that it really matters, but yeah, Dayton does not have a very strong resume in my opinion as a whole, and
Where are they on KenPom?
they're like
Dayton.
they're like very similar, Nevada and Dayton, to each other. But
Dayton's 32. Oh, Nevada's 36.
yeah,
Okay.
this game is 50-50, and I'm pretty sure the betting odds say that as well. I think this game is almost pick 'em.
Yeah.
But Dayton's another one of those teams that is not coming in super hot. They've lost 2 of their last 4, and 3 of
Nevada's
their last
-1.5.
And Dayton has lost in their last 6 games to George Mason,
-120.
to Loyola Chicago, and to Duquesne, which is just ugly.
Yeah.
They put up 47 points at VCU earlier this year as well. So
Yeah.
overall, they're just not a super strong team.
They're not built for it, man. Is Nevada built for it? Let's see.
I honestly don't know if Nevada's built for it. Though.
State. They beat San Diego State. Got smoked by New Mexico. Jesus. TCU, Hawaii. Lost to
But-
Drake.
Bones.
Oh,
any
shit.
opinions?
They've lost to, the real teams they've played.
Go ahead.
Boise. They beat Utah
I
State.
think I'd probably lean Nevada. I just don't. I think Dayton's bad. Nevada, I think, is a pretty solid team. I think there's a reason they're favored as the 10 seed. I think. When in doubt, go with the books. And I just don't like Dayton. So
And I think to your point from earlier, this is a little bit different than a 6-11 being favored, even though it's just 1 seed. 7-10s aren't really considered to be upsets. To the point where I don't think it's like a chip on the shoulder for the favorite team
The
in
10.
seeding.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nevada it is. Anybody like Long Beach State in this game
Yes.
with the fired coach?
Yes.
You actually do, Jake?
Bro, in the NFL, the week after your coach gets fired, they have never lost. The interim has never lost. But that's the NFL, so.
Yeah. I like Arizona. I really not much to it. They're just a better team.
I will say
Arizona
that,
has such a cake walk.
I think they might if a 2 seed's gonna lose, it might be Zona, just because Tennessee's kind of similar where Zona lives by the Caleb Love and they will die by the Caleb Love.
Yeah.
It's a good team. It's a well-rounded team, but if Caleb Love isn't getting going, I don't think they can win a big game. And that could cause them problems. But
Although this
in
isn't like a
tournament
big
matchup,
game yet.
You
Yeah.
have to take the 2.
Word. Going back down to Tennessee.
St.
versus
Pete.
St. Peter's.
Shout out,
Doug
Doug.
Gator.
Everyone's favorite Cinderella story. Does anybody like St. Peter's in this game?
No.
No.
I'm riding the Connect train.
I'm riding the Connect train to the 1, 2. Well, no. We'll see.
All right, Nick, state your
Bones,
case.
let's get the in
your case,
opinion.
guy.
Oh, Nick is the biggest hater of his own team, so I'm not sure we're really going to get much of a case.
So if
here.
he's able to make a case, then
Oh no, I'm
That means we
simultaneously a delusional UVA fan and the biggest hater of all time. But no, on a serious statement, I already said I think we have a good matchup against Colorado State, and I actually think both of the playing teams are better than Texas. Texas should not. I don't know why they're a 7 seed. They weren't that good. I think the Big 12 got a little bit overrated this year. Texas was definitely a byproduct of that. They really didn't do anything in like Big 12. Like they were just like fine, and in the Big 12 that was good enough to like get you a 7 seed. And as I said before, like their top scorer is like Max Abmas, and Reese Beekman would shut him down absolutely. So I would take the 10 seed, regardless of UVA or Colorado State winning. I like the 10 in that matchup.
All right. Anyone else like the 10 seed over 7 seeded Texas?
I think the only
I-
thing that they got really going for them is that Abesness has been a dog in the tourney and he has that experience. That's the real advantage that lies within them there. This goes back to or maybe I didn't mention this earlier, but Mountain West is 0-4 in their past however many times where they're a double-digit seed. So in the first 4, that is. So I think that UVA can probably handle business against them. And then I don't know. I think it's always hard to play that style of play that UVA plays and to go and try and challenge it. And I think that Texas might have a tough time. So yeah, I'm good with this. Plus, there's the stat about first 4s that I don't have. Oh no, never mind. I have it.
Oh yeah, like one first 4 team wins like almost every year.
11 of 12 first 4 teams advance to the second round. Of the past 12 first 4 teams advance to the second round.
Not that I'm against it, just highlighting it. This is our third 10 over 7, so we haven't picked a 7 seed yet. It doesn't really matter, but
We are in a second.
Jake wants to pick the other one.
Jake,
No,
you like Texas?
No, I do not.
No,
Well, it depends.
he means
If
Florida.
if it's UVA, I like UVA because they have the defense, and usually defense shows up more than like unless the 2 guards and the what's the guy's name, Dioso or whatever. There's like a forward on Texas. If
I can tell you, I've watched a lick of Texas this year.
I like UVA. If it's Colorado State, I like Texas.
I agree with that.
But speaking of Nick, when is that playing game?
Tomorrow.
We play
Plays
tomorrow at
tomorrow.
9 p.m. baby.
Woo!
Right early. Yeah, I was
Okay.
also. I think I don't know if I said this on the pod, but Colorado State is a short team, which is very good for UVA. Also, UVA's this year has struggled against teams that can play through a postman, and neither Colorado State or Texas do that, which is why I think UVA does have a real chance.
It's like they have a. I like UVA because just defense. Like you guys
Defense.
automatically take away one of their guards
Yeah.
because they have 2 guards. There's another one. His name's like
Reese is
Hunter or
just
something.
so good.
Yeah.
He's so good at defense, bro. It's crazy. Creighton Akron. I don't know about you guys, but I love Creighton. I'm pretty much hammering them in every bracket. I don't think I have them losing this once. So
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah, I've not picked Akron in a single bracket so far.
Yeah.
all right, South Carolina, Oregon, another popular upset spot.
Oregon.
I like Oregon in this game, to be honest. I don't see much from South Carolina that stands out. I mean, they're 54th in adjusted defense and 46th in adjusted offense. And
Where do
I
you
think-
see the rankings on that? Oh, never mind. Don't listen to me.
Okay. And I think Oregon's right there, 50th in adjusted offense and 70th in adjusted defense. I think this might be another game where Oregon's the odds-on favorite. Double check that.
Let me see.
South Carolina is a favorite.
No, South Carolina's favorite.
What are they?
-1.5. So
Yeah,
not really.
and
But
it's
so not much.
pretty much a pick. Yeah, I like Oregon in this spot.
I would
I
agree with that. From my perspective, Oregon became the 11 seed for the most part due to some injuries. They lost to a tough Syracuse team in North Dakota, I think, in the beginning of the year. But N'Faly Dante is starting to get going a little bit for them, and he was a highly touted prospect out of high school. So I could see him sort of taking over for them. And I would say, let me take a quick look at this. Oregon's the 11 seed I'm most confident in, I would say. And I would say them or DJ Burns-led NC State have the best chance of being that 11 seed to make the Sweet 16 that we've become so accustomed to. So I'd ride with Oregon for this.
I'm a SEC truther, and I do not like South Carolina.
One final thing I'll leave with to kind of justify this Oregon argument is that they're coming in again, like we've been talking about, trending upwards. They beat Utah, UCLA, Arizona,
Won the
and
Pac-12
Colorado
championship.
to win the Pac-12 championship. And Colorado is a super respectable team, in my opinion.
I
think
really
it's-
hope they lose to Boise.
And
I'm going to pick
obviously-
Florida no matter what, but I really hope they lose. We will have issues with
Yeah,
Colorado.
if Colorado wins, I would not
We
be
will have
surprised
issues
if
with Colorado.
that happens. But I like Oregon in the spot.
I think I'm the only one on South Carolina. Then it's a 3-1. The reason I'm doing it, I don't know the exact stat, but there's a trend that says how are 6 teams that win their conference championship and then are lower than a double-digit seed do really poorly in the NCAA tournament. Like they have I don't know the exact stat, but they win almost none of the time.
Like they
This
flare up.
applies to it applies to Oregon and NC State. Actually, the Gautier argument kind of makes sense where they kind of burn out in the tournament or they use up all their luck. But it is a stat. It's a thing to think about. And I think South Carolina is just a much better team. Like they got smoked by Auburn in the tourney, but they're a good
Everyone
team.
got smoked by
Bro,
Auburn.
Auburn caught fire in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, but my point is that be wary of double-digit Power 6 champions because they don't do well.
That's a good one.
But
We'll go Oregon. Right? We have 3 Oregon, yeah?
Yeah. I think the only difference here for that may be that Oregon is a double-digit seed due to injuries early in the season. So, I don't know.
I don't know. Dude, South Carolina just
But
can't play Auburn. They're
Here's
very good against everyone else.
on the other side of that, I would say that South Carolina has been hated on and disrespected for literally the entire year. So you got to imagine that chip's getting pretty big for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's South Carolina has just been dunked on by Auburn, and they have one bad loss to LSU. Otherwise, beat Mississippi State, beat Florida, beat Arkansas.
No, I think
they're very respectable.
narrative,
team. Beat
the
Kentucky,
narrative is there
beat
for South
Tennessee.
Carolina, where it's like the respect has not been
What it
earned as
should
we
be.
thought it might have been. Exactly. And so the narrative is there, but I do like Oregon in the spot. I think we have 3 backers, so we'll go.
I
with them
kind of
for
want to
now.
go South Carolina, but
Is this our first?
No. To not argue, we can take Oregon.
No. If we want to flip it,
I want to go
Nick
South
provided
Carolina.
some very good.
No,
very good
it was pretty Nick. I've been looking at this.
We already took an 11.
We did
So
take
took
New
both
Mexico.
the 11s.
If
We
you
took
guys
Drake
wanna
and
flip, I wouldn't be incredibly mad.
No, Drake was a 10.
Who?
Who's the
Oh,
11
yeah.
up top?
Duke Wentz.
Oh, Daskuke.
Duquesne, yeah. All right, you guys want to flip this? I'm cool with flipping it.
This is my thing. South Carolina has just gotten blitzed by Auburn. That's really their only bad, and Alabama. That's fine.
Yeah, but Alabama
Close.
can blitz anybody. In the
No,
country.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
You
5-point
could
loss
just
to
flip a
Clemson
coin.
early in the year.
All right,
Georgia's sneaky good, but they're
Boys.
not in. But
heads or tails? What the South Carolina? I'll let you guys pick.
is South
guys want heads or
Carolina more
tails?
of a heads or a tails? Okay, so South Carolina, I like that logic.
Tails.
Tails
Okay,
for
flipping it. It is tails.
wow.
We'll switch to
Ooh.
South Carolina.
I like it.
All right,
I like it.
Kansas, Samford.
Stanford. just kidding.
You know
I have
where
no
I'm
idea.
going with this. This
AP's a
was what I
truther.
was hinting at earlier, where yes, my homer does come into play here a little bit.
A lot of it.
Similar to Michigan State, they have arguably the best coach in college basketball, and I think that alone should be able to. You're giving him all this noise about how they're not a good team, and I know they've been struggling down the stretch, but I think if Dickinson and McCullough are healthy enough to play, this is gonna be one of those games.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
80-50.
This is going to be one of those games that people look back on or like, I overthought that. it's the Kansas Jayhawks, and that's sort of where I'm going with it. But again,
It's
my
those two need to be healthy. I want to see like
yeah.
I wanna read
If I was a part of the Kansas athletic training staff, I would know exactly who to pick in this game, but unfortunately, I'm not. So it is
bro.
tough.
I'm shooting both of them up with every ounce of
I got you.
everything.
You
Steroids.
said what, Jake?
Said I'm shooting them up with whatever they need.
All right, Kansas. We kind of got to speed it up. I'm not gonna lie. So
It's just,
I mean, it can be multiple parts. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, we should speed it up a little bit.
Kansas, good. Yeah.
yeah. I don't like them in the second. Oh, but it's
Nick?
fucking McNeese and Gonzaga.
Oh, I think Kansas is kind of a home court merchant. They were 3-7 on the road this year, but
Oh,
they're the better team. I'm happy to go with Kansas.
I didn't know that they were 3-7 away. Did they just have tough away matchups? What was it?
Kansas.
They-
Yeah, it's the Big 12.
They were the Big 12, yeah.
And then
They went
also-
15-1 at home, 3-7 on the road.
When they were
Let's go.
healthy, they beat UConn and Gonzaga, I believe. So, again, it's just how
It's
healthy
are those?
they
Yeah,
it's
are.
how
it's all-
healthy are those
it's
two?
all-
Yeah.
But we can move on. I mean, that's
All right. McNeese, Gonzaga. I don't know about you guys.
McNeese is
Anyone
another.
else?
They're another
Favorite.
one of those teams that are really high in the net ratings as an out, like one of those random teams mid-major. Gonzaga's fraudy in my opinion.
I
like
like
McNeese.
it.
I like
Win rating
McNeese.
is-
I like McNeese to the Sweet 16. If Purdue's gonna blow up again, I like McNeese to the Elite 8.
If you guys know me, I love a good
I've
Gonzaga
got
upset.
her.
So
I hate Gonzaga. I hate
You
Tim.
know-
I know
I-
you're there. He's the worst.
Hey, I think we all are not the biggest fans of Gonzaga, and we can probably speed this.
And
up.
then this is the year they're gonna end
McNeese
up
got
like
the
winning it
vibes.
all.
oh,
Watch.
dude, I'm
This is so the year Gonzaga wins everything. Just because they're so down and it's not their year, but every year it's their year and they don't win it. So
all right. McNeese, it is.
So we
I like it.
move with McNeese.
TCU, Utah State. Anyone feel strongly about this one? I don't know much, to be honest.
I know that Utah State, like fans and college basketball fans, think Utah State got disrespected and would be more like a 6 seed. But that's about all I know about it.
Yeah,
And-
same. I've been seeing a lot of that. I'm not gonna lie, Flood.
I don't know.
But when it comes to metrics, TCU is basically better than Utah State in all the advanced metrics. So
I know
I like
nothing
this
about
too.
this game. I will tail whatever.
I like
We've
TCU.
taken
Nick,
1-8 and 1-9, so
you got
It's
Nick,
an
you got-
8-9. You can literally flip a coin. I would go TCU. They played a harder schedule. You know, it could always help.
All right, and Purdue, and we'll move on.
Actually, happened last year. Just kidding. Joke.
Marquette, Western Kentucky. Anybody like Western Kentucky in this game? I like Marquette.
I like Marquette. It'll be important for them to get Kolek back and healthy because I think if they get him back, they can be really special in this tournament. But we'll
Too
see.
bad they run into an absolute juggernaut in the second round. But they can get their
NC
first round.
State.
All right, we'll go Marquette. For this 7-10, I would love to pick this after the play-in game because if Colorado wins, I'm 110% picking Colorado, but we'll see what happens. What do you guys think?
I'm not gonna lie. For the process of moving quickly and whatnot, I kind of agree with your sentiment there about Colorado. But given we picked UVA to win, I'm fine with just picking Florida to win this one because it's the ball. You know,
Yeah.
I do not want to see Colorado at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, Jake. Like I'm hammering Colorado money line. If
We
they
are
win.
we are still gonna beat them, but that would be a scary game.
Colorado's so freaking good,
Cody
dude.
Williams.
I think they're awesome. I really do.
NBA draft prospect.
Yeah.
All right. It sounds like we would
Yeah, we
go
can go
Colorado,
Florida.
but we're gonna go Florida. So Florida it is.
All right. Any arguments for Oakland?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
The
wow.
argument. Well,
DJ
actually, I'll
Birds.
make it real. I'll make it real
DJ
quick.
Birds.
The argument for
DJ
Oakland
Birds.
is that Kentucky's volatile and has played some absolute terrible games. And
Oh yeah, if Kentucky just misses every shot they take. Yeah.
There you go.
Like
Okay,
yeah.
NC State. Texas Tech. I think this is a really fun one.
I wish NC State had the 6 below. I wish NC State had South Carolina instead of Texas Tech is so good at basketball.
Yeah.
It sucks that my boys are running into.
I do think, like, I don't know. There's some part about like human nature, in my opinion, that's like when you watch a team. I mean, it's basically just recency bias, right? When you watch a team do so well in such a short stretch, so recently, it really makes you want to pick them. But I really don't think that NC State is all that.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Dylan, you watched him. You watched DJ Burns live in person.
Him.
Bro,
Guys,
he's so OP,
You watch-
bro. He's so OP.
DJ Horn's gone through stretches where he averaged 30, and
Yeah,
he
he
had 30
looked-
in the championship game.
He looked really
He's a
good,
dog,
actually.
and he's getting healthy. And what are we doing? This is our bracket, right? We love.
I guess
DJ
so,
Burns.
bro.
We love
How
NC
can we
State.
fade him? How can we fade him?
Exactly. Like what
Guys,
are we
guys,
doing?
guys. I'm not gonna lie. Before like 2 seconds ago, I thought Texas Tech was gonna win. I looked at their starting five. Their biggest guy is 6'7", 225.
Oh, they're
my
cooking.
God.
Oh my!
It's
NC State.
over.
It's
It's over. It's over.
DJ Burns is gonna feed families for the next 20 years, bro. Oh my god.
Bro, Rod Wave been running out of that music money. He got to turn to basketball now.
Bro, he's actually so fat. Okay, let's pick him, bro. Why the hell not?
Bro, and they're getting Kentucky. Who the fuck Kentucky got to guard him? Who does anyone got to guard him? Oh my god.
Right. Anyone
All right.
on Vermont? Because I think Duke's gonna wipe them.
Duke.
I think
Duke is
Duke's
gonna-
coming out. I think
Duke's
Duke's
gonna
coming
mop
out of
the
this
floor,
whole
dude.
little spot.
We'll see what happens. All right,
This
another
game
fun
right
one.
here.
Jamie Wisconsin.
Oh, sh-
Oof. We got to
This
take
is
our
probably
time
gonna-
with this one. I'm gonna be honest.
What do you guys like?
Because this, okay, let me lay a case down for JMU, and then I'll end it with we can follow the rank. If we come to a tiebreaker, I say we just follow the rule of going with our guys, which is Wisconsin.
Picking the school, yeah.
So Wisconsin.
We
has
don't
the
have
second
anyone
hardest
at
strength of
JMU?
schedule this year.
I guess
So
it's-
we don't have any. Well, yeah.
No, I know.
But like, Wisconsin has second hardest strength of schedule this year, right? They have the experience with Greg Gard. They're a good team, right? They just made it to the Big Ten championship. They had been fading for the back half of the year, fading into a conversation of almost being out of the tournament before whipping it back around to the Big Ten tournament. But they're a really good team, but they don't match up well to JMU, in my opinion, at least. And here's what it comes down to for me is JMU scores the 10th most points. They're 26th from the field. They're 41st from three in the nation. Wisconsin, opponent field goal percentage for Wisconsin is 309th in the nation and 346th in
That's low.
three-point percentage. So to me, it's two incredibly different paced teams. Wisconsin plays slow, JMU plays fast. But that is where the game is won to me, is Wisconsin gives up that high clip of a three-point percentage and sort of allows the run and gun style to work a little bit, and JMU is going to do exactly that.
The only it is the mid-major thing, but also JMU hasn't lost since. When
Dude.
did they play this game? JMU has
I'm
not
like-
lost since January 27th.
Holy shit.
So they're on fire.
2 months.
The
bro.
my only argument is that they played absolutely no one besides Michigan State at the beginning of the year.
And it's a
Dude,
valid argument. It is.
Like
It
that's
is,
and
but
Wisconsin is so tested from
yeah.
Big Ten play, right?
Confidence is
That's-
just so important when it comes to
It's
March.
contagious. It's contagious.
And
yeah.
JMU, I think when you watch them, you can see they truly believe that like they belong. You know what I mean? Like they're not one of those mid majors that just like, oh, we found ourselves here. Like they do believe that they can compete with the best, and not losing in 2 months, that's pretty.
I-
fucking good.
I personally am taking Wisco, but I'm fine taking James Madison.
I'm on
Okay,
JMU.
See. To me, I feel like we got to take Wisco. As much as I just made the case for JMU,
I love JMU in the spot, dude.
and I do.
Dude, they have
But I
played
feel like
nobody.
we got to take Wisco. I feel like we got to take Wisco, low-key. So I don't know. Nick,
Nico?
you're the decider. 'cause
Nick
I'm
doesn't
kinda-
like to
Okay.
decide.
I'm a big trend guy, and the trends actually say that 5-12 upsets happen less than people think. Like people always think like a 12 5, like
Is
the
like
12
is
might
like
be
bound to
one,
make a
but
run.
they're not as common as you'd think, and I think Wisco's a pretty good team. Might be a little pissed off about that Big Ten championship game, and they have a lot of good players. Like they're a very solid team. So I would go Wisco. Jamie, like this game could go either way. I'm picking both teams a lot in my brackets. But yeah,
All right,
And
we'll go
then
Wisconsin.
touching on that
We're,
trend
we're gonna
real
look
quick.
back at that after JMU wipes the floor, and
Bro, it's our bracket though. We got to go with our guys. You know what I'm saying? And touching on that trend real quick, it is. So yeah, people think the 12s always win, but 3 of the last 8 tournaments have seen every 5 win.
wow.
So
Jeez.
it's
What
trending
is
in that
it like?
direction.
What are the like? Is it normally just one when it happens too? I don't know if you get that pulled up, but
I do not have that pulled up. Well, yeah, at least
All I know is
one.
that every year there's 3 12s that everyone likes, and they're always saying pick them, and then the one that no one picks is the one that wins. So
That's actually exactly correct on what happens. I'm not gonna lie.
like
yeah,
it's
no.
exactly what it's.
Normally, some stupid ass shit comes out of your mouth,
It
but
is.
that is so true. That is actually so true.
I'm so correct all the
Like
time.
people are on UAB, people are on JMU, people are on Grand Canyon. I don't think a lot of people are actually on McNeese.
No, a lot.
I
Of
think
people
I think people are on McNeese just because
loves
everyone's on
McNeese.
McNeese. Yeah,
No, the
it's
least picked
the
one
one
this
the
year.
one that's gonna win. I think UAB is gonna be the one that
UAB,
wins,
yeah.
if anyone.
UAB will
Yeah.
probably be the least picked one. Yeah.
But of course, since we're all thinking that, that means everyone else is thinking that way. So then it's gonna be. See, it's a circle. Some bullshit is what it is.
All right, Nebraska A&M. This is a super fun one, in my opinion. What do you guys
I
think?
think
I'm
that,
so Tamu. I'm so Tamu, but
I think it's gonna blow up in Texas A&M's face, and Nebraska's gonna win this game by like 25.
Really?
That's my hot take. I think A&M is just gonna blow. They lose so many bad games.
Dude,
It's gonna blow up. I'm
they
saying right
have
now,
some of the worst collapses I've ever seen from a like talented college basketball team. Some of the worst, bro. It's so impressive. This year they are completely. They're 500 away and they're just above 500 neutral. But yeah, I mean, they have some of the worst collapses I've ever seen. Memphis,
even against us, they blew a
LSU,
18-point
Arkansas.
lead
Like
to us.
we were talking about this Vanderbilt. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how you back such an inconsistent team, but I guarantee you, in 5 of my 20 brackets, Texas A&M will be in the Sweet 16. Like they're just that type of team. So
Roll Huskers.
It's
I'm down to pick Nebraska though.
I'm so Texas A&M because they did something. I forget which game it was against because I heard the announcers talking about it. It's after they lost to Tennessee, they like switched their starting 5. And ever since then, they've been rolling.
The day after they lost to Tennessee, they lost to South Carolina. But you know,
I know, but that's a 2-point game against the team that's
yeah,
going to go to the
they
Sweet 16.
then beat Georgia, Mississippi State, Ole Miss again, and then they rolled Kentucky, and then they put up a fight against you guys. So
Yeah, I will always. I'm picking Texas in every bracket.
all right,
But
Bones,
if you guys want to go
you?
Huskies,
I like Nebraska here.
I said Huskers. Yeah,
All
Yeah.
right, yeah,
need the code Huskers.
and then Houston. All right, we'll wrap back to the East. Anybody like